21st anniversary.
Yes.
Have you been arranging this from the beginning?
No, it first started after the wrestler Catweasel died in 1991. They were at the funeral, some of the boys, and he left a little money to have a drink. And they said, isn't it a shame that we can't get together while we're alive? And so a referee called Mel Mason did the first one in his garden in Cranbrook, Kent. And after that, it was taken over by Tony Scarlo, the lightweight wrestler, and Joe D'Orazio, the referee, because Mal didn't have the numbers of a lot of the boys. That didn't produce a big audience because it was in the country, so they moved it to Joe Cornelius's pub in the West End. Joe's here today with us. He did it for a year and then went across to Cyprus to live, and so then Wayne Bridges and Sarah took it over, and I joined them in 1995, and I've been doing it with them ever since. When Bridges came from his pub in Greenwich down to here to retire, we moved the reunion here. It's been here ever since, so quite a big tradition.
So you've got a lot of the people that come here are still some of the old wrestlers and a lot of new wrestlers as well,
yes.
Younger ones, yeah?
We think it's very important to welcome the young wrestlers because when we all die or retire, who's going to follow it? And to keep that fraternity going. And the other danger is that wrestling itself finished in the late 80s, early 90s and went over to the WWE.
Yeah.
And the young wrestlers coming in the business didn't get a chance to serve an apprenticeship with the legends that are here today.
Yeah.
So some they've heard of and some they haven't. People like Johnny Saint, who's almost a god, who's here today, just to meet him, let alone work with him. And so by bringing the young together with the old, we are creating what we hope is the new world of British wrestling, and not just a copycat American style.
Yeah, and obviously keep this going every year like it has been.
Yes, we go everything. There's two of the legends now. Hello, Keith.
Good to see you, Frank.
Keith Myatt. Hello, Elizabeth. All the way from Newcastle. Lovely to see you.
Coming from all over, yeah?
Yep.
This today.
Normally they come in from all over the world.
Yeah.
But because of the Olympics, it's backfired on us a little because one, they've doubled the aeroplane flights. So Rollerball Rocco wasn't worthwhile from his home in Tenerife. Yeah. Jimmy Breaks comes in from Gran Canaria, couldn't get a flight home tomorrow because of the tourists going back. Tony Sinclair normally comes in from Germany, he couldn't get a flight. So we're just sort of worried today that the numbers will be down.
Yeah. What's the progression for the day? So we've got, what time does it all sort of start?
Well, people just have a drink and chill out and say hello to each other. And then to make, because not everybody looks the same after 30 years, we deliberately put on a little ceremony. We have a disc jockey, David Bowles, playing now for you. We've got a saxophone and backing singer and a soul mode down singer. And then as a special treat, after we've done our awards ceremony, we do an obituary 10-bell count for those that have passed on, and follow that with an awards ceremony to a few deserving people. And then after that, Lloyd Ryan's band will play, and then after that there'll be buffet lunch served and the raffles and things like that.
You was telling me about that guy in the band as a drummer, is that right?
Lloyd Ryan, yes. Lloyd is one of the world's top drummers. He started off with Matt Monro and Johnny Ray and people of that stature as a backing drummer, and then formed his own jazz band. He played with Buddy Rich in Catford years and years ago. He's now considered one of the top 3 drummers on earth. But his interest in wrestling is that he was Kendo Nagasaki's manager for over 20 years, and he loves wrestling, and so he's given his time today because he loves wrestling. He also has a big band, and he's just relaunched the big band sound with a new LP which is out, Driving Force. So we're quite honoured to have him here today.
Yeah, it's a big guest,
and,
really.
Yeah, and I'm sure he'd say talk Phil Collins. So I think you're all going to be really pleased with it.
Yeah, no, we're looking forward to it. I know you're busy, so one last thing, are you just still involved with wrestling like our friend John Hall? He still does a bit of training?
Yeah, absolutely. This is Yorgos Christopoulos.
How's it going?
He's the British heavyweight champion at the moment. He's just joining us, so this is one of the young wrestlers that we want to encourage. And in fact, Yorgos is getting an achievement award today for his efforts in wrestling.
It's a big old lad, isn't he?
When I finish wrestling, of course, I MC and I commentate on television. For my part, still in it. And of course, I did have a training gym with Tony Scarlo, and people like George and others used to come, and that's where they learnt their craft to emulate the British legends that are here today, rather than learning just American stuff.
And you were starting to do the drop kicks as well.
Yeah, I created drop kicks and named it, and then when I injured myself a few years ago, I couldn't carry on teaching with any credibility, and so I sold it to John Ritchie, who's made a great job of it ever since. Lovely man, and because John's brought other styles in and brought it real back to the mat where it belongs.
Had Kurt Angle to the gym as well.
Yes, he did. Yes, yeah. So that sort of sells it big time.
Right, Frank, thanks for doing the
Thank
chat.
you very much indeed.
We'll
Please feel free, and everyone will make you welcome, and we hope you enjoy the day with us. Thank you.